Jumping out of airplanes? Check. Scuba diving on the Great Barrier Reef? Check. Helicopter tour over one of the largest sand islands in the world? Check. And feeding kangaroos?
I am over the top excited to be down under. Hey friends, Tabitha Lipkin here, and it might have taken me 2 days and 3 different planes, but we have made it to Queensland, Australia. You're seeing the largest natural formation on the planet. This is the Great Barrier Reef, and I spent 3 days diving at 11 different locations to explore it for myself. After all, I was under the impression that it was dead, but bleaching and dead are not synonymous.
I can certainly tell you from my observation that we are very fortunate up in this area of the reef that we have not experienced much bleaching. Even when bleaching does occur, when those mass bleaching events happen that get the headlines and you get these sort of very simplistic black and white lines that say everything's dead or everything's fine, because that's what's of course going to catch people's attention. Even when bleaching events do happen, it doesn't mean that the coral is dead, it's over, pack it up and go home.
The word bleaching can be a little confusing for people because it sounds like something permanent. You know, if the curtains fade, they've permanently changed. But the corals bleach when the temperatures are too high for the zooxanthellae, but they recover also. So what we've seen in the last few years is actually the highest coral cover in the 32 years that we've been recording coral cover on the Great Barrier Reef.
According to the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority, the Barrier Reef is experiencing its 5th mass coral bleaching event in the last decade, affecting about 75% of the reef marine park. But the reefs are still very much so alive, with millions of life forms calling the reef home. The true reef system scale is hard to imagine at over 1,400 miles long and over 900 individual reefs. A quarter of the individual reefs surveyed, by the way, recorded no to low levels of bleaching. And if you don't exactly know what a coral is that makes up the reef,
coral, well, it is a very interesting thing. So I think of coral as a mixture of 3 things. So it's an animal, it's a mineral, and it's a plant.
Corals get most of their bright colors from microscopic algae that grows inside the polyp's tissues. This algae, called zooxanthellae, is expelled when the coral is experiencing stressing events like warming water temperatures. And once it leaves, it looks as if the corals are dead, but they're not.
The sea temperatures are warming and that is impacting on reefs, but they're also bouncing back.
It is our second day, which is my first full day here diving on the Great Barrier Reef. And if you can't tell, I've already been in because we have 5 different dives today. We're at the kind of coral gardens area and it's really beautiful. I've already seen a cuttlefish, some sharks, and some of the healthiest and most beautiful corals that I've ever seen. But we're gonna dive in a couple more times. We've got 11 dives total this entire trip, 3 down, and that means 8 to go.
My favorite spot at the dive trip was undoubtedly the cod hole. This is where I met the friendliest potato cod ever. She's called a potato cod because of her potato-like spots, and her particular name will make you chuckle. It's Tater Tot, and she's very curious about humans, and seemingly likes a good close-up from the camera as well.
Of course, when you think of cans, you're going to be thinking about the Great Barrier Reef. But this area also has another special attraction. You can actually see it right over my shoulder. This is where the rainforest meets the reef.
The reef and the rainforest are not only neighbours, they are related. They're connected to each other. So the mangrove systems that connect the rainforest and the reef are actually the breeding ground for the fish, and it's how we clean our salt and fresh water.
While you probably knew that the reef was a World Heritage Site, did you know that the rainforest in the area is too? And your visit to where the rainforest meets the reef can have a positive impact on the area because you can't protect what you don't know.
The most important thing to say is that tourism is one of the greatest contributors to conservation. And I think for a lot of people around the world, conservation has always meant if we took humans out, then everything would get better. But in today's world, there's an acceptance and in fact an embracing of the idea that humans have one of the most important roles to play.
One of the most toxic things that us as humanity can be doing is saying, oh, well, it's all too late. But I feel like there are so many changes that we can make, even our everyday lives, to kind of do better for the planet.
So the next time you read a headline or hear about the bleaching of the Great Barrier Reef, know that it's not dead. It's very much so alive. and there's still time to have a positive impact on the area.
Just the Great Barrier Reef is definitely not dead. The answer is so much more complicated, and there is so much incredible diving to be done. So come and hang out with us, and we'll see you in the future.
It's pretty early in the morning. In fact, the sun hasn't even come up. And if this is any indication of what you guys think I'm gonna be doing, it is exactly what I'm gonna be doing. We're gonna do a sunrise skydive. And this is actually the first time I've been skydiving on another continent. And it is the first time that I've done it for sunrise, so let's do it. And the thing is, I don't love heights. Like, I like heights. I like looking out of heights. I do not like jumping from heights. It's just not my thing. Everyone has a thing, it's not my thing. Somehow I just keep doing it over and over and over again, and eventually you think the fear goes away. It doesn't go away. You just do it scared.
Going on today? What are you doing?
I think I'm not doing anything. I'm skydiving today. That's right.
But it's not your first jump, is it?
It's not my first jump, but it might be the best jump.
Yeah, it could be. What are you excited about on this one?
I'm excited to see Australia from above. Yep. See a little bit of the ocean, the mountains, Cairns, all together.
All right, anything you want to say to anybody back home?
If you're watching this, it means I didn't make it, and I just want you guys to know how much I love you, and I'll see you on the other side.
Let's do it.
Skydive Australia made a 5-minute video edit of my journey, but I don't need all 5 minutes to show you just how epic the sunrise skydive totally is. The best part for me? Falling through the clouds. That's not something I have done on any of my other previous skydives, so it was really neat to just be completely surrounded mid-air. After we pulled the chute, I got to experience a little zero-G maneuver and then take controls for myself while enjoying the scenery and getting my 2 feet finally back on the ground.
How was it?
It was epic. You made it epic, man.
What was your favorite bit on this one?
Oh, it's really tough, but I think watching the sunrise and then seeing the cloud line below me and then knowing we're about to go through the clouds and then you pulled the chute and then you're just like in a cloud. That was crazy.
How's the view here?
The view is spectacular. The best view I've ever had skydiving.
Welcome to Australia. Skydive Australia, Cairns, yeah.
Look at that. Look at that behind me. It's crazy. There's traffic literally just right under me, huh?
In Brisbane, there's so many different fun things that you can do. So you can do everything from climbing up the Story Bridge, you can be going out for a nice restaurant dinner in South Bank, or we're so close to the Gold Coast or Tangalooma for all sorts of different fun day trips.
Brisbane is the 3rd largest city in Australia and the capital of Queensland, filled with adventure at every corner, like rappelling, or as they say down under, abseiling down the side of a cliff at Kangaroo Point.
People get to conquer their fears if you fear heights. When you stand on the edge and you do the leap, you really feel like you achieved something. You also get to see the city from the top, which is another view.
But the skyline has another unique viewpoint, one of the only places in the world you can climb a commuter bridge, called the Story Bridge Climb.
It's a big day and the adventure continues because, see this? I'm going to actually climb over the Story Bridge. Story Bridge. It's called the Story Bridge Adventure Climb, and we're doing it at sunset. And I've never climbed on a bridge, and apparently there's only 3 places in the world you can do it. It's all in the Oceania area, and I'm gonna do one of them right here in Brisbane.
Story Bridge Climb pretty much gets you from the ground all the way to the top of the bridge. It's only one of 3 climbs you can do around the world that let you climb up a bridge, and it gives you a completely unique view of Brisbane.
All right, I'm all geared up and I'm with Jen. Jen, what are we doing? Where are we going?
We are going straight up the bridge. We're going up the eastern side to top platform east, where we have the most amazing views of Brisbane, 80 meters above sea level. And then we're going over to top platform west, take some photos with the city in the background, and coming back down.
Being a proper tourist today. We made it all the way up. Jen's up here. Whee! Wow, that looks so beautiful. Oh, wow.
But we best know Australia for its animals, like the kangaroo and koala. In Brisbane, you'll find the Lone Pine Koala Sanctuary, the first and largest in the entire world, starting back in the 1920s to help save the koalas who were being killed during the fur trade. Today, it's a world-renowned sanctuary making huge medical advancements for koalas.
With such a large koala population here, we've got about 100 koalas, so we work with a lot of different institutions, we work with universities, we've had a big hand in the koala chlamydia vaccine, we helped with the first koala artificial insemination, we helped to discover the bacteria that allows koalas to digest eucalyptus, and we work with a lot of different facilities and research organizations in order to do all of those projects.
So on each hand they've got 2 thumbs on them. 2 thumbs and 3 fingers, so that obviously just gives them more grip on the other side of their hand. And you can see really well on Archer there. So he's got the 4 toes, but see how the first 2 toes are fused together? So he's got like a double claw on that first toe. That's his grooming claw. So that's like a little built-in comb because it's got little tubes. So koalas don't look very flexible, but he can get that, oh, look at his little teeth. He can get that little foot all the way up to the back of his head. So we don't groom them, they groom themselves and all their fluffiness, and so they will get that little grooming claw all the way up to the back of their head and groom with that little double toe.
Today we did the Koala Discovery Tour, which is my favorite tour to lead because koalas are the bread and butter of Lone Pine. So we got to spend an hour walking all throughout our exhibits, talking about the koala's life cycle from joeys to our oldest ladies in retirement. We went behind the scenes to look at our leaf sorting area and how we collect 1,000 pounds of eucalyptus every day. We did an exhibit visit where you guys got to get nice and close, and then we ended our experience with a little koala cuddle and a photo.
There's like this open area and there's just like kangaroos right there. I don't know how, like, I guess I can get close. Hi, good morning. Look at him, he's right there.
I think Lone Pine's really special because it's right next to Brisbane, so we're really close to the city, but when you're in here, it is beautiful, it's quiet, the scenery is gorgeous, and we really focus on native species. So there's a lot of facilities you can go to and you can see tigers and elephants, but here at Lone Pine, we're just native Australian species, and we really want to encourage people to be really excited about those animals by letting them get close. So you can feed the kangaroos, you can watch our keepers doing behind the scenes experiences, you can book in for tours to go see how we take care of our animals. So it's just a really great place to get up close and personal and learn everything you can about native Australian species.
Hi. What? I don't have it. I don't have any more. You don't believe me, do you? Yeah? It's nice, huh? All right, Murray, what are we gonna do now?
We are going to go up about 17 metres to the top of Vertigo.
And we're going to have a dining experience. We're going to show you the dining experience that you can have. And this is also, by the way, Murray's first time doing this. And he lives here, so this is going to be awesome.
And our cutlery also gets tethered to the tables. So underneath you, you'll feel a little lug. So our cutlery comes on strings and it all gets tethered so that you can't drop it. There's one way to dine. I'll enjoy my wine over the edge.
Murray's got to jump first because I need him to get a shot of me up here. Sorry, Murray. Woo! You made it look easy. I really don't want to do it. Okay. Okay, you promise it's not gonna be a big.
Tight.
Everything's tight.
No, there's no big jolt. It's nice and smooth. 11 seconds, top to bottom.
Okay. Okay.
We're rolling. We're ready.
All right. Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Yay! Facing our fears.
But let's say you want to get away from the city itself and get out on the coast. An hour ferry ride from Brisbane will get you to Tangalooma Island Resort, known around the world for its dolphins.
So as you can see, I actually have made it to Tangalooma. I started immediately with the helicopter ride, and now I'm getting ready to do a couple of interviews and a snorkeling tour on the shipwrecks that we saw on the helicopter ride before dolphin feeding, and then they have to send me back because I got more stuff I gotta cover. But this is such a beautiful island, and fun fact I learned, this is where they filmed the Scooby-Doo movie. This is Spooky Island. I geeked out really hard when I found that out. I went to all the places where there was filming. None of it would be recognizable to you guys, but I saw where the pool area was and the like jetty that they came in on, so pretty cool.
So here at Tangalooma, we are very lucky in that we have one of the world's best dolphin feeding programs, and that's because we only feed these dolphins a very small amount of their daily intake.
Tangalooma's wild dolphin feeding program dates back to the early 90s, and it's since been the subject of many university studies, from the gifts that the dolphins bring to the marine biologist to their speech patterns.
Yeah, it's very successful because we do have very strict rules and regulations on how we run the program. So the dolphins are not dependent on the program in any way. Some nights we have 9 that are regular visitors. Some nights we may have all 9 swimming into the program. Other nights we may only have 1 to 5 dolphins swim in, which is really good to see because it shows that they're more interested in being out there and hunting and catching their own food.
Tangalooma has more to offer to its visitors as well.
And the helicopter is a great way to see Moreton Bay and to also see the island as well. And they have many different tours. But out of the Eco Centre, we run many educational tours for our house guests, and we believe the educational tours are really important because we like to promote conservation.
More than just where the home of the famous children's show Bluey is set, or the home of the 2032 Olympics, Brisbane, Australia is a place that always has something new on the horizon.
So my favourite thing about Brisbane is that it doesn't matter what weekend it is, there's going to be something new on somewhere around Brisbane. It might be a new show or a new fair, but there's always something brand new that hasn't been done before.
Today is a really special day because I am meeting with a local and Indigenous artist on this island just off the coast of Brisbane. And I've got a half-day tour with her where we're going to go all over the island and we're going to learn about its cultural roots, and we're also going to learn about some really, really incredible art.
So this is my mum's mat made out of the freshwater reed, yunge.
This is Delvene Cockatoo-Collins, a Quandamooka artist who lives and works on North Stradbroke Island, the land of her ancestors, and knows that a piece of this island is sitting in the United States, all because of a traveler from San Francisco.
In 1853, there was a bag, a freshwater reed bag taken from the island. The steamship that left San Francisco with Carrington Raymond, who was a person that collected a bag from here, from Moreton Bay, and then travelled down to Botany Bay and then back to San Francisco. What we worked out with the curator of the Smithsonian is that it would have travelled from San Francisco to Washington on stagecoach or by horseback. So a bag that was from here, from this island, is now in the US. I got to visit it last year and it was a really important occasion for me.
The Indigenous people of the island, like Delvene, can trace their roots back more than 18,000 years. And she's still using ancient reed weaving techniques to make art.
I think each and every family has their own way of telling their own stories, and being responsible for that, I feel like I've been given the responsibility as part of my role as an artist, and I'm showing that with my children and my nieces.
Delvene's art has an incredible reach worldwide, with collaborations with the likes of notable figures like Venus Williams.
The project with Venus Williams, I was approached to create a design to highlight global inequality in wages between men and women. And so I drew upon my grandmother's basket. And the title of the work, We Are the Matriarchs, referred to the work that our matriarchs have done here.
But the island itself holds generations upon generations of history.
Somebody that's never been to this place, I'd like them to think of this is an island with a very strong Aboriginal presence, an ongoing Aboriginal history, It is, as we say, the most beautiful place on the planet because of those different environments, the white sandy beaches, the turquoise surf.
Stradbroke Island is an island with about 2,500 residents and is only about 18 miles long at its longest point. Now, many Australians and specifically people from Brisbane love to come here on the 20-minute ferry because it's a great place to vacation. But Delvene would love people coming here to know that, in fact, the Quandamooka people have very significant cultural ties to each of the beautiful landscapes.
Mayura Springs, which is a culturally significant place because it's where our people have gathered shellfish, they've cooked and shared it in that space and discarded those shells. So there is a shell midden beside this beautiful freshwater creekway. There's the gorge walk where we walked around, and during winter we see whales, but today we saw dolphins and turtles and kangaroos on the side. So we visited Wimmera Brown Lake, another place which is significant to our Quandamooka people.
Delvene hopes visitors leave Stradbroke Island, which is the second largest sand island in the entire world, knowing its history, its culture, and its local businesses.
So right across the island there's over 30 Aboriginal businesses and Aboriginal organisations. So it speaks to this independence and strength on the island, and I'm so proud to be part of that.
I spent an incredible day with Delvene. I had a fantastic dinner. I have been going hard in Australia at this point for 9 days, showing you all the things that you've been seeing, capturing it all, experiencing it all. I'm very excited because tomorrow I kind of have a free morning, and then I'm going to a new museum exhibit. I'm going to ride that Ferris wheel that is behind me. And then I'm going to do some kayaking and some abseiling. And if you don't know what abseiling is, essentially it's rappelling. And that is everything I do before I hop on a plane and head back to the United States. Jamming speed. Boop. So that concludes our entire episode right here in the Queensland area of Australia, ending in the beautiful city of Brisbane. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey, and I can't wait for you to travel with me, Tabitha Lipkin, on the next one. And I know I keep saying this, they just keep getting better and better and better, but they just keep getting better and better and better. So I know the next one's gonna be just as I like to say, epic.